Hello, here is an AYD League game that black won by 11 points, even though there was a big unforced error in the middle towards the end that cost black plenty of points, but black was comfortably ahead at that point already. So let's check it out. Diagonal Fuseki, very good for black to play this Kakari coming from the lower side. Now we have a fancy follow-up, so the peep like AlphaGo and then the Shimari. This is very nice, so black puts more emphasis towards the lower left corner than the middle of the side. The usual Joseki it's J3, but nice idea to play F3 actually. So now white comes in right away. This is a way for white to hit at the vital point, but it's not really necessary to play it directly. For white it's big to extend on the left side or at least play Keima in the direction of black's Moyo. Now when white plays this kind of key point, black has several options. First of all, black wants to make sure that white doesn't connect underneath at O2. So the game move was just descent, but in general you want to separate with N2 because this also puts pressure on M3, and there's another reason for playing N2, not just to separate and make sure white doesn't connect underneath. So when white extends for a base, it's very easy to jump along and take away that base or push along. And later in the game, it's also important for black to have this P2, then Hane and connect. So this will give black an extra eye on the bottom side compared to just descent. The descent doesn't give you eyes. It's true that black has the monkey jump at R1 and later on it will happen. And there's an interesting discussion about that monkey jump as well. But it's more interesting to play N2. So this is similar to the Joseki. When you finish up with J3, let's suppose white has a stone here or white just jump in right away. So in general, you want to separate N2 in order to be able to connect under at L2. So when white comes up, next move is the connection underneath. But if you just go down to separate and white plays here or white goes up, there is no more connection underneath with J3. So keep in mind, it's important to separate with the Kosumi at N2. So most of the time is this move. Sometimes you go down when you can affect the corner with moves like Q4, but it's not the case here. So white extends for a base, black puts some pressure, this is nice. But this push is not really necessary. For white to go out, usually white will play a move like J6. So let's say black jumps here, white wants to escape towards the center this way, which means black can also play that move. If white pushes from behind like this is a happy variation for black because white is making a wall that's already facing black stones in the lower left corner, and also pushing from behind gives black a nice box in the middle. So actually black doesn't have to play anything, and if black wants to play something, the Keima would be the good mutual point because it kind of surrounds or takes away white's exit to the center. But a move on the right side, something like P7 or a jump at O7, feels more proper to get into the middle faster and reinforce this group. So we have a push, then a peep. The peep is very good because once white connects, he's in an empty triangle, and a shape point. This is excellent, this jump. But here, black was a little bit soft. Instead of Nobi, it's good to get ahead, but black can play the Han actually. Because if white crosscuts, black will just push through and now separates the bottom group from the middle, which is excellent. So white is not going to crosscut. White will Nobi to the left, and then black can connect solidly. So this is much nicer because it's a lot of power in the middle, and white is still somewhat under pressure. So white will play probably Keima or turn or jump to the left, play some more moves to fix this group. So obviously it's a stronger position in the middle for black. Just Nobi, then keep pushing. Here Hane works again because even if white cuts, the group is already super strong for black in the middle, and on this cut black can actually extend to the left. So now white is in trouble because of the cutting points. White will probably play the wedge and stay solid, and here black just makes a nice shape. Now if this stone goes up, black can jump to the top or extend on the left. So this fight is fine. You don't have to fear about the cut at K10. So with the jump, white played the wedge to create cutting points. Here it's probably slightly better to connect solid, but okay, it's fancy to use the tiger model. And white played away. Yeah, it's about time to grab some big points. Now in this position, r14 doesn't feel to be the biggest point, because from the c14 shimari, white wants to extend in the top at k17, j17. So black can play a move like this, but black can also go all the way to f17. Even though white already has the stone at c14, the top side is very interesting. So when white plays here, you extend back to k17, so you control the most open area in the top. Playing here, white will extend k17, that's good. So it kind of ruins black's potential. And for black, it's difficult to use this potential on the right side because white has a stone at r6. So this kind of comes inside the right. So r14 directional play was a bit questionable. Now this g17, it's a bit questionable too. Normally, you want to get into the top with e18 and then extend to h17. The problem with g17 is that when white plays e17, the only option for g17 is to jump out. And after this, white can also make a base in the top. So it feels very comfortable for white to take the base, secure the corner, while black is on the run. So white took the base right away. Black attaches. It's a bit dangerous. You should just slide. It's a bit safer than come out or work for the base in the top like this. Push in the corner, turn. Everything is fine. Now the group is alive, and then extend on the left side. Similar to what happened in the game. So white played a Hane, counter Hane, okay. That shows some fighting spirit. Normally black will just pull back, white goes down, black turns, white nobi, but black is over concentrated. Doesn't feel so good. So this shows more fighting spirit, very good. White can actually connect the corner in this case. Black needs to link under, and that's a bit painful, and now white can extend first on the left side. So here white missed an opportunity. On this move, black can catch the cornerstone, and it's actually pretty big. Because now, well, the top side can be white. Wait a moment. So this would be a trade Joseki where c14 is hurt, and black can play the Hane here, but you don't have to go right away with the Hane, just extend to the middle of the side. Therefore, white could just connect this way. Okay, so black links under, white attaches. This feels like a good variation for black. Black connected the stones, and now the problem with white is that he's got the wall, but when black plays a move here, that wall is meaningless. I mean, all these stones. But black got the extension on the left side, that's very big. So white extends, jump out. Now here with all that thickness, it's a bit safer for black to play Keima instead. So this you prevent invasion on the left side. Because anyway, white is very strong in the center, and also the formation in the top, it's quite thick. So it's really not necessary to jump e9 and play risky. Because with this move, the plan is probably that white will jump again, and then you add another move, something around here or something this way, to build a bigger left side. But it's not necessary. Just respect white thickness and play a move like this, and it's fine. So of course white jumps in, and here black showed some fighting spirit, but white messed up. White should play the bump. If black covers, white links underneath, and if black connects solid like this, white can go out or play an attach, or the move that happened in the game, shoulder hit, and all these moves, then jump out. And now black's group, it's a bit weak, so black has to pay attention how to escape in the middle. But the way white played, black actually managed to profit here. Yeah, this is a good bump. Even though white has Atari like this, black will connect, so now black can cut anytime at c12 and make life. So when white defends here, black will surround the stone on the left side. If white comes up, black will leave on the left. So this was well played by black, the bump to make sure white doesn't connect underneath. And now capture these stones, very big. This is all forced, good sequence. But here, black has a better way to leave. For example, peep like this. And this way, when white connects, you have Sente to reinforce the corner. Playing like this, it's threatening the connection underneath, but white doesn't really care. So white got Sente with this follow-up to press down, and now he can play on the right side. So if you look at this variation, where let's say black peeps, and then you don't defend the corner, it's much bigger to extend on the right after that. That's the last open big space on the board. So we have Kosumi, then pressure, then white got the right side, but actually black still has more territory at this stage and the first chance to win this game. It's difficult to catch one of the groups here, but all the moves were centers, so it reduces white a lot. That's not necessary, this kind of exchange. Yeah, not a bad move. But in fact it was to invade, and also it was to play just an approach move to build the center and then threaten the invasion. White will play here or here and then protect the corner. But the invasion would work as well. So if white plays a move like this, you come out either with Kosumi or push and then turn. And even if it's an empty triangle, once you come out, those stones are in trouble. So the invasion would work because when white plays a move like this, you just cut and grab the stone. And it's actually nice to take away the territory on the side because the wall that white builds faces the wall that black has in the middle. So it's not going to build much. With this move, obviously, black wants territory in the center. And it should be fine. Here, Hane it's an option. When Hane under, you Nobi. When this move, Atari, or keep going and build the center. And if he cuts, you just extend. So it's absolutely fine. Then on this Atari, you go out and maybe you build more in the center. So Hane or just go down, because on this kind of Hane, you can attach. If he wedges, Atari, and capture the stone on the side, and this gives you a lot of territory here. Besides, white has to come back and protect against the cut, so maybe a peep and then some artistic defense, but black is fine in the center too, like this. Back to the original game. So Nobi, obviously black feels good about the position. Oh, okay, still go down, very nice. And white, it's a bit desperate. Now the shape point here is tiger mouth, because if white pulls back and defends on the right, black can cut here. If white gets into the center with the Nobi, now you cut on the right. So that's a better shape point. Anyway, this cut at 07 can hurt. More interesting to play this one space jump. White has to pull back and then separate the whole thing. Shoulder hit like this. So when white tries to come out, you push in the top and at least you lean on those stones and get some profit. Well, here white will give up a stone and then come out. Still some profit for black. And this cut is big too. Yeah, keeps everything safe in the center. And somehow later there was an unforced error here. Okay, this is big. Also proper. All connected. Now we proceed with some endgame. Very big to capture the corner. Nice. Here black can block this way because it's threatening a cut. So, I mean, this is just a connection, but once you play this block, you have a follow-up. Of course, white can play here, but once you play a tile like this, there's some issue for white on the bottom side. This is proper. Monkey jump. So now about the monkey jump, you don't always have to protect P2. And the reason is, in this case, it's more interesting to play O1. Because O1, even, okay, white will play Atari here and then connecting the corner. So anyway, black is not going to make any extra points around O1, P1. But having O1 in place, you can jump here. And this is connected to O1. So when he pushes like this, you block, he needs to come back and connect. And you push again and you erase all the bottom points. So the thing is, you connect usually P2 when white plays Atari, connect, defend, and there are more black stones here, and you can build this extra point and this one and this one. But in this case, white has stones around M3. So if those white stones are black stones, then it makes sense to block this way. Otherwise, it's good to go down. So you lose 1 point because white can play this move or he can push. There is no more point at O1. But after he connects the corner, you jump L2. So now this is like a reverse monkey jump from L2 to O1. And this will erase the bottom stones. It's always good to look for moves that impact other sides on the board. So not just, like here, it's obvious that P2 is just oriented locally in this area. But when you play O2, you're also looking at L2. So keep that in mind for next time when you deal with a monkey jump. This is fine. No edge in the corner. And yeah, now black is supposed to win big. Then let's see what happened. Yeah, so this is the follow-up that black had here, because O1 is not in place, which means white got all these points in the area on the bottom. Yeah, that's good to prevent the cente. Good defense also. Nice. Reduce some point. Oh, this is a problem. So we have Atari and catch. Too many cuts. So black was supposed to play this Atari and then call it a day. Now we have all kind of small endgame moves, and all of a sudden white drops the bomb. So normally here black needs to play Atari like this, white goes up, and then black will connect in the center too, even though actually it's not necessary. Black can play Atari like this, because on this cut you have Atari, and when white captures you take a stone. And even if the cut works, you can leave under. So I mean, if white plays, for example, this and cuts, you just play here and the group is alive. But expensive. So when you play Atari like this, he captures 2 stones, then you need Atari again, he Atari, you take, he connects, you connect. Yeah, it's a fine defense. Expensive, but still, it didn't affect the outcome of the game, luckily for black. Otherwise would be a really big upset at the end. It happens sometimes. So the rest of the end game was well played. This descent is not necessary at a16, because at the end you still need to capture a17. You better play here. So when Atari take, white connects, you connect again. There is no gain to go down, and also white couldn't go down either. So, but there are several calls, and that's it. For white, it's better to go down and then have an extra call threat. Like this, he just got 1 Atari instead of 2. Black has another threat here. Take back the call, white plays this, take back the call, Atari connect, take back. Then there are some threats here too. So in the end, yeah, it's white's call, but it doesn't matter. So well played. I mean, the beginning was so-so. Could be better for black, but overall it turned out okay with the sequence on the top left and left side. Then, well, this big unforced error in the center kinda make it close. Enjoy the review and play more accurate next time.